big mail shared on Facebook about some group, maybe one, maybe more, and more Feltaos in their case to Congress of America, USA, and to office of Mr. President Trump. This episode about this, what shared on Facebook to support the right thing, and because all of us, we know they are innocent. The mail said, or these pictures say, President, most respectfully, Mr. President of the United States of America, let me present to your honorable person a humanitarian case that needs a fair justice under a corrupted justice system that is controlled by a corrupted political regime. The United States of America throughout modern history became the leader of democracy and human rights. The United States of America helped many countries and regimes to adopt democracy and human rights as the core values of serving nations' dreams and needs. The road to a successful democracy might take years to be accomplished. The success of the following proper democracy standards depends on the desire of countries to seriously adopt democracy. The United States of America significantly assisted a core allied country to partially start following the democracy standards through serious economic programs, the justice system, and presidential elections. One of these countries is Egypt, which in the last few years realized the necessity to follow the proper democracy standards, but with huge challenges such as well-established corrupted justice, corrupted economy, corrupted daily life situations. Actually, we say, as Augustine, I see what I see in pictures with a mail shared. That's what I just say what in these pictures. Let me take the opportunity to introduce myself to your honorable person. I am honored to be candidate for doctorate program offered by one of the most famous school worldwide, which is located in Yonkers, New York. And they say he is doctorate of program, and he work in this field. On Sunday, July 29 to 2018, the world has been troubled with the horrible martyrdom of the historical St. Macary's the Great Monastery in Egypt. The most humble Bishop Epiphanius. Bishop Epiphanius, on his way to the monastery church to attend the midnight praise with his spiritual son, the monks, was murdered by an unidentified assailant. The path to the church is around 200 feet long. While not illuminated by any source of light, around 4 a.m. a fellow monk was stumbled by the body of the bishop The monk, with the help of the other brothers, transferred the bishop to the monastery clinic, hoping to save his life. Surprisingly enough, there were two military officials waiting for them at the clinic, as if the officials were expecting this crisis. Mr. President, let me share the last month that led to his murder. The monastery owns several sounds of land around the monastery, as this desert is historically known as St. Macarius Skit. As a year before the murder of Bishop Epiphanius, the Egyptian government by force nationalized 500 heirs to be used as a partially The monastery owns several tons of lands around the monastery, as this desert is theoretically known as St. Macarius Skit. A year before the murder of Bishop Epiphanius, the Egyptian government by force nationalized 500 heirs to be used as a part of military economic projects. The bishop sent several letters to His Holiness Pope Tawadros, as well as to President Sisi, asking that the land has to be brought back to the monastery. Military continued to use more land. It was brought to my attention through the Bishop Epiphanius personally that he doesn't feel safe. His Grace Bishop Epiphanius went on a trip for 3 weeks to Australia. Epiphanius returned to Egypt few days before his murder, after promise that the problem might be discussed between President Sisi and His Holiness. On the same day, July 29, 2018, the Egyptian police of the government of Alexandria, along with investigators, started to interrogate the monks through hours of the day. On August 2, 2018, the investigator limited their subset into 5 monks. All of the 5 monks, they were denied the privilege to use human nature needs using the rest rooms. The investigation lasted until around August 7, 2018. On August 5th, 2018, His Holiness Pope Tawadros signed a papal declaration to excommunicate monk Isaiah from all his religious privileges in order to be sent to court as an ordinary person. On August 7, 2018, after midnight, the Secretary of the Holy Synod of the Coptic Church, Bishop Daniel of Maadi, visited the ministry. On the visit that lasts only 15 minutes, Bishop Daniel declared the excommunication of monk Isaiah. On the spot, the police by force forced Isaiah to go to a place that was claimed to be a police building. There with extensive interrogation. Later on the process, the police claimed that another monk named Feltaos is also a suspect helping Isaiah. Both monks were kept away in an unknown place until August 11, 2018, which was Friday. During that time, they were denied the privilege to be assigned and legal counsel, denied any spiritual support visits, and were inhumanly treated, such as denied the privilege to use a restroom. The inhuman treatment, combined by physical torture to force confessions, these breaches of human rights were well said by monk Isaiah on the first court day, which took place on. It is worthy to note that Father Zenon, Monk Zenon, who was spiritual father of monk Isaiah, at the same time a witness, was found murdered as well in another monastery in Upper Egypt in St. Mary Muharrak. Father Zenon was forced to be transferred to Al-Muharrak monastery through papal decision, as well as Zenon was murdered. Throughout the process, the two monks are denied their spiritual support right. In the particular, this issue is touching my heart as a chaplain. The jail doesn't allow the two monks to attend regular Christian liturgy performed at the jail prayer center. The sacrament of the communion is also denied. Lawyers' visits are and still denied. The current situation is that the court ordered that they are about to have the capital punishment executed on them. After the signature of a Muslim faith leader known as Mufti, this practice is in particular is against human rights, as the justice system depends on different religions leaders to decide rather than a healthy justice system. Moreover, the human rights delegates were denied the privilege to visit the monks. These practices illustrate corruption in military projects, the justice system, human rights, and the religious authority, which hinder the journey towards the democracy that Egypt decided to achieve under the leadership of President Sisi. Since the martyrdom of Bishop Epiphanius on July 29, 2018, the Coptic Christian, whose population is close to 30 million in Egypt, 10 million worldwide. I think we are not just 30, we are more than 40 millions. We can continue. Not introducing around 3 million in the United States of America feel an outrage aspect through turmoil and lack of justice. Many Coptic organizations peacefully made extreme efforts to bring justice to the murders of Bishop Epiphanius. Such major incident the rate of injustice imprisonment to Copts and Egyptians. Journalists and activists has increased. A prime example is a young activist named Rami Kamel. Kamel was imprisoned with a major accusation being a member of Muslim Brotherhood, which is considered crime in the law, Egyptian law. Meanwhile, it is known that Muslim Brotherhood doesn't accept Christian to be among the gangsters. Moreover, the kidnapping of young girls, specifically Christians, which became phenomenon practice, has increased to be around 3 around the clock in the land of Egypt. Yes, that's right, but also now happen Muslim girls also kidnapped, but not more than Christian for sure. And yesterday or before yesterday, we see in Maadi, Maryam with hip was killed by careless drivers. But actually for sure, Christian girls kidnapped many times. Last one, I think Magda and Samah Adli. Maybe yes. Unfortunately, such obvious persecution is mainly denied by Egyptian regime, including the Patriarch of the Church, Pope Tawadros. Okay, we will continue. Who clearly considers himself as a diplomatic ambassador of Egypt. Surprisingly enough, the papal residence and meeting with His Holiness became mandatory site for diplomats and world leaders to stop by for one purpose: to have the understanding that justice against Coptic Christians doesn't exist. Meanwhile, it is worthy to note that His Holiness alone personally asked to have special care provided to the two monks. His demand was only granted once, with difficulty for a short meeting with priest, without the privilege to attend the liturgy, prayers and receiving communion, which is a core practice of the Christians worldwide. About Pope Tawadros, about this passage, I don't know what in the core of heart of Pope Tawadros and his mind, but this is what in pictures. Mr. President, the Coptic Christians president by different Coptic organizations worldwide, specifically asking your presidently diplomatic power as the President of the United States of America, which is a world leader of democracy, on behalf of 3 million. I think this is this acknowledge. Which is a world leader of democracy on behalf of 3 million American citizens who are loyal to the United States of America. We are asking for 3 measures action to bring justice and democracy worldwide. Under guidance of the United States of America, to form a team of forensic investigators, professional investigators, and legal council members. The goal is to lead a fair justice investigation to avoid political impact, which is mixed with long history of the corrupt justice system. Not all Egypt corrupted justice. Maybe some, for sure everywhere we can saw some. But this about what in pictures. Known to the whole world, the American Copts are willing to hire a professional private investigation firm to initiate the investigation. Moreover, many of the American Christians are willing to support as a legal counsel, psychologists, human rights supporters, and chaplains to provide spiritual care to the monks during the investigation. Along with this demand, we ask to stop the capital punishment until the end of fair investigation under the United States of America, under the guidance of the United States of America, to form delegate of human rights lawyer and other proper professionals to meet with all Egyptian activists, whom the only goal to spread equality and democracy. All time with high professional delegate, including judges, lawyers, doctors, and chaplain, to present your honorable person along with your presidential team the issues that Egyptians are suffering. It will be a golden opportunity for you to know an important part of American society, who are the good American citizens who hold major professional positions in the United States of America and worldwide. Mr. President, We pray to God the Almighty to give you grace, strength, wisdom to lead the United States of America from glory to glory and from prosperity to more prosperity. And also appendix in this picture. Recent support to the innocent monk Isaiah and Feltaos of St. Macarius Monastery. One, the alleged investigation indicates that the murder hit the victim on the top of the head 3 times, the same spot on the head, giving that the whole way that the victim has to walk through between his apartment and the church, between his cell and the church, is about 200. Moreover, accordingly to the reports that are, the hallway is dark path due to lack of lights or source of lights. Logically speaking, the head will take different position each time the murder hit the victim. The logic leads to summarize the murder either the bishop in an area that is illuminated by a source of light or can see through ultraviolet rays that is used in high technology weapons. The other theory, the victim, martyr Bishop Epiphanius, was hit 3 times exactly on the same spot, is that the victim killed in a place such as inside an office or in a cell or apartment nearby the hallway. The nearest theory to reality and logic is that there were once 1 or 2 men knocked on the door of the bishop apartments. Isn't a practice the monks know on one another door in the late night time, who later were writing for his body and monastic clinic. This depends about what in pictures. Another theory is that the murderer was able to see the spot of injury. The top of the victim's head is that the murderer used a weapon equipped with night rays technology. The weapon was sharp that it sharply cut the victim's head with stayed clean cut once, which allowed the brain to drop through the victim's scalp. An initial study suggested that is a Russian sharp bolt, which is a long and sharp. Such weapons are not available to the public, but only to be used in military facilities. The tool, as claimed by Egyptian investigator, is hollow iron bar that is so flexible that was abandoned. Why the investigator to the court such as a tool doesn't cause a segmental wound as a sharp cut, but a wound traumatized. Moreover, it was mentioned that the iron bar is a trusted bar, whereas the iron presented in the court is not trusted. Also, another point, the Egyptian police official and investigator failed to find the monk's hood, which is usually used by Coptic monks. It was a Coptic monastic hood. It's a piece of cloth that is divided in the middle. There is a cross decorated at the very top of the monk's head. Hypothetically, at the night time were targeted the cross vertically so that it caused a segmental wound. Another point, it is thought that since the Egyptian investigators that murder is sober tool person, is that the weapon used in the crime is weapon using at nighttime with X-ray, which is a drone pilot. The drone pilot, re-equipped with a sharp cut weapon, targets the cross on the fabric on the Coptic monastic hood. Logically, if the person murdered where there will be a noise or cry which will draw the attention of other monks who might be walking using the same hallway. Since there was no noise heard, the victim either killed inside his cell apartment or shot with the sharp weapon that killed him instantly. Another point, there are many facts and studies that are making this crime is well fabricated to be wrapped well, either to be fact of the lack of advancement tools and specialists within the Egyptian investigators team, or the murder motivated to exclude the Bishop Epiphanius' efforts to pursue the efforts to regain the land that is forcefully taken by the Egyptian government. Oh my God. And also I think he also requested from President Trump meeting. Please subscribe, pray for all Egypt legal case, because all of us who see and who feel two monks are innocent. Please subscribe, press bell, like, share and comment. God bless you all. See you on next video. Pray for Monk Isaiah and Monk Feltaos. Also pray for leaders of government to support them against injustice. Please subscribe, press bell, like, share and comment. Religion and medicine aren't synonyms. Same universe. This is what conservative Christians don't learn and continue sweeping. I agree with you, but religion is medicine for spiritual. مؤكد يسوع سيقيم عدله غصبا عن الكل، ومهما فعل أبناء إبليس لقد سمع أبناء رب مجد يسوع إلا أنه مستحيل على رب. أمين. ربنا يتمجد وصلواتكم معانا. Goodbye. See you in next video.